Undeniable synchronicity. I was watching a channeled message earlier this afternoon by Michelle Wolf, and she was talking or transmitting a message that for me, the part that jumped out was this message of undeniable synchronicity. And I've been having what I relate to as undeniable experiences lately that, as I think back on them, were very synchronistic. Earlier this week, on a morning that I absolutely was in the depths of feeling some uncertainty, and I was kind of flip-flopping back and forth between God has got me and how the fuck am I going to get through this, and back to God has got me. And a friend reached out who I felt like I could absolutely share this with, just at the right moment, where it kind of, as I shared with her what I was bouncing back and forth between, kind of released a pressure valve for me that just felt so good. And a few weeks ago, a friend reached out on a Wednesday, and this is a friend who I haven't seen in probably about 4 and a bit years. And he invited me to an event that he was going to be hosting 2 days later. And most of the time, my schedule's kind of booked out about 2 weeks. On this particular Friday, it happened to be open. And to top that off, 4 of the friends that I had been thinking about, and it's not such a surprise that he would have invited them as well, but it just so happens that I've been thinking about getting together with them this summer, and they all happened to be there. One of them was in from Mexico, another from a few hours out of town, and it just lined up in a way that I felt held and supported. And then back about 2 months ago, all of a sudden in business, I'd been, kind of doing a lot of groundwork, kind of working the pipeline of our business. And for a few months back in the early part of the year, nothing seemed to be gaining any traction. And then in the month of June, everything just seemed to fall into place like dominoes, toppling over. And, we had our best month in a long, long time. But it's unexplainable how it showed up, because I can't trace it back to actual activity that I did just in advance of that. It showed up in terms of people introducing us, and them jumping right on the opportunities. And I look back on, these past 2 months, and this idea of undeniable synchronicity just feels so present and real to me in this moment. So as I was reflecting on this from having watched Michelle's channel download, I wanted to capture this because there is a very present energy of undeniable synchronicity there for me right now. There is a shit ton of uncertainty right now. I'll save that for another video, but there is undeniable synchronicity, and that is what I'm leaning into. I'm leaning into that with faith that it's all as it was meant to be, which is a message I got in a retreat back in January. It's all as it was meant to be.